Good evening and welcome to the live Hemingway Jones Fountain Pen Show, meeting as we always do, 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. So good to see everyone already here, people coming in as we progress. Always great to see many of the same people each week showing up for the chat. A lot of friendships are made. A lot of friendships are preserved here. I like to think that the Hemingway Jones Fountain Pen community is a group of really close friends, probably especially the Illuminati and Cognoscenti members that have a pen pal group. So if you're a member of the channel, there's a pen pal group for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members. It's a lot of fun. I write a lot of letters. Takes me a while sometimes, but I do, and it's always a pleasure when I do have a chance. I do try to keep the video production first and foremost, because I think that's what you guys expect from me the most. You want videos each week, you want a live show as much as possible as well, and that's what I am more than happy to provide for you. So I do appreciate it, and I appreciate all the thumbs up. I see them flying by. Thank you. Makes YouTube happy. I do want to start. I got a lot to speak about today, and I don't know if you can hear it, my voice, but my voice is already strained, so I'll go as long as I can. But very, very important is that next week, August 14th and 15th, I will be at Atlas Stationers in Chicago. So very excited to be in Chicago for the first time. Can't wait to meet Brendan. I got to get that moment on film. We've been friends for so long and we've never met in person. So absolutely delighted to meet Brendan. If you're coming to Chicago, let me know in the chat if you're watching live or in the comments on the replay, and let me know. I'd love to meet you. So this is a really exciting event. It's basically a pen show. There are a bunch of vendors that will be there, a bunch of brands. You can get your hands on a lot of different interesting fountain pens. You can talk to a lot of really interesting people. So I would love to see a lot of people from the Hemingway Jones community there, especially because I've never been to Chicago. So if you have ever wanted to meet me, and it would be an honor for me to meet you, then this is a great chance, because I'm not sure when I'll be back. I would imagine I'll be back. I'd be surprised if I didn't go back to Chicago. But this is my first time, and if I do go back, it'll probably be a few years, because I did skip Washington, D.C., the Super Pen Show this year, but maybe I'll go next year. I don't know. That's kind of how it is. I pick events, but I certainly would love to meet you all if you have an opportunity to get there, like Donald Roaring. He's going to be there. Come meet Donald. Why not? Come see him at Debbie's going to be there. My dear friend Debbie, that'll be super fun. Always good. Trying to see who else. Hopefully more people. Come on, people, show up. Come meet me. It'll be a blast. And I do not come alone. I'm traveling with my family, so it'll be super fun. All right, so we have a bunch of stuff to speak about. I want to tell you some things that are coming up on the channel. I want to speak about the effects of tariffs already sort of decimating the fountain pen purchasing experience. If you're buying a pen now, you're going to have to pay a bill to an extra tax of 20-30% depending on where it's from. So gear up for that. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And I also want to talk a little bit about journaling, because this week we have a journaling video coming out, and journaling is near and dear to my heart. But first, I want to recognize someone living the analog life with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I love the name of your YouTube personality. I don't know if you have a YouTube channel, but if you did, Living the Analog Life would be a perfect YouTube channel name, and it's right up my alley because I'm there with you. I'm all about analog experiences. Fountain pens, pocket knives. Did they digitize pocket knives? Not really, but I still consider it kind of analog. Typewriters. I love things, old cameras. Even old digital cameras have more romance to me than modern digital cameras. Anything like that. Super fun. David Pearson's one of my favorite people. Celebrated his 65th birthday on Saturday. Happy birthday, buddy. Splurged with a present to himself, a Montblanc Meisterstück La Grande Geometry Solitaire with medium nib. You, my friend, have chosen wisely. Well done. Happy birthday. Many happy returns. And thanks for your support of the channel. I really appreciate it. So cool. Thank you. Happy birthday. Great pens. Okay. I have a lot to do tonight. I'm going to try to keep it rolling and keep it interesting. So let's start with something I picked up over the weekend. Oh, okay. There I am. My messy desk. So I picked up this from a witchy shop in Salem. Where else would one find a witchy shop? By the way, this is completely unnecessary, what I'm about to do. But I'm taking out one of my favorite knives. This is a Gerber, I believe it's a Mark I boot knife from the early 1980s. I bought this when I was around, I don't know, 12 years old, maybe a little older, I don't really remember. But it's one of my oldest possessions that I still have. What do I use it for? I use it to open envelopes and this notebook, even though it's overkill. And I also use it to kind of throw into trees and into the ground. That's it. I don't think of knives as weapons. To me, they're tools and toys. It definitely shows its age. It's pretty. It's a double-sided dagger. It's very scratched up. I could fix this. There's a couple ways to fix this. It's actually sharp again because I bought a sharpener and I'm being careful, but I did sharpen it. But it's not polished, but you can either take something that can score it lightly, like kind of like a Brillo pad, but made out of plastic on the back of a sponge. And you can get the grain going in the same direction. Or I could use Cape Cod polish and it will make this super pretty, but I have it. But anyway, complete overkill, but it's fun. So let me show you this that I bought at the witchy shop. By the way, you see this in a lot of my B-roll. I like to put it in because it's pretty. Old school Gerber. Gerber makes a combat knife called a strong arm that I really like, that I'm probably going to pick up sometime soon. Still have the original scabbard for this. It's seen some better days, but it's so cool to have it. I remember buying this as a kid. Plus, it's funny, isn't it? 1980s, I was like 12, and I went to Kmart, and I bought this, and they sold it to me. No problem. No questions asked. So... all right, so in the witchy shop, I bought this. Sorry for the noise. Why did I buy this? Why? It's the last thing I need. Well, I do use notebooks for the channel quite a bit. I like the Celtic design. It's a hardcover. It's almost like a paper blanks, but it's Scarabeo, or Scarabeo, which is the same company that makes tarot cards out of Turin, or Torino, in Italia. And it has a beautiful page here to write your name. And the reason is that this paper, I haven't actually tried it yet, but it's really nice. It feels very, very nice. Smooth, maybe a hint of grain. Feels high quality. So that's why I bought it for a notebook. It says it's a Celtic journal. And obviously it's Celtic knots. So very pretty. They had one I almost bought. It was called a Wicca journal, and it had sort of John Paul Jones's symbol, if you know the symbols from Led Zeppelin. But this one was prettier, so I bought this one. But very nice. Has a page holder. So it's Lo Scarabeo out of Torino. And they have a website that's loscarabeo.com. So I guess I'll let you know how it is with fountain pens, but I suspect it's good. It feels very nice. And it was only $14, and witchy shops are usually overpriced, so you could probably get it cheaper elsewhere. But it was a beautiful experience picking it up. So, a notebook. Super fun. I don't have any place to put it. I'll put it over here. Okay, so other stuff. I have been using my vanishing point from Pilot quite a bit. And I've been filling it with Darth Lilac. So it just ran out and I just cleaned it. So I just thought we could kind of put it back together and sort of talk about it in case you don't have one. And so you sort of want to see which way the nib is up. And the nib is up on this one. This is my beloved Black Noir fountain pen, named after the character on The Boys. It's really funny because somebody in my comments was like, typical American, Black Noir, it means the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, that's the joke. That's the joke, my friend. I don't know what country they were from, but they weren't very nice. All right. So, So anyway, there's a little notch here, and you have the nib up. So if you've never done this, you put the notch in there. Then you have this fantastic converter, one of the finest in the industry. Said no one ever. And then you just screw it back together. And it should be fine. Yep. Yes. Clicky. Clicky. By the way, I'm a little upset that I'm not filling it. I'm going to fill it soon. And I'm also kind of starting to obsess over which fountain pens I'm going to bring to Chicago. Probably not this one. This is my kind of workhorse. Okay. Speaking of workhorses, this is another one. This is my Gravitas Facfill, which I also ran out of ink. I usually keep Konpeki in here. And I cleaned it okay. I didn't clean it perfectly, but I cleaned it okay. So I thought that it would be a good opportunity to kind of show you that it comes apart in neat ways. So look at that. You can just get right in there. And I bet this comes apart too, but I'm a little afraid to mess with it. But knowing my boy Ben, this thing comes apart. But look at that. You can just clean in there. It's a little blue yet, but it's mostly clean. But a lot different than a 823. Super. Wow. Did you hear that? That was cool. Let's do it again. Oh, that's awesome. So there's your vac fill right there. But isn't this nice that this whole unit comes out and then just screws right back in? Pretty neat. So this pen was designed in conversation with the Pilot Custom 823. It's the Gravitas version. But it has some differences. It's reinforced with, I believe, titanium where it counts. And you can take it apart and clean it very easily. I bet this comes out too. But I didn't go that far. The only hobgoblin with this is that there's no clip. And I wish there were, but you'll never get him to put a clip on it. He doesn't like clips. It's not happening. Okay. By the way, I should mention that he has a new release. It's a Gravitas Monster that just came out, and he's sending me one, which is very, very nice. He's sending me one gratis to demo and see what I think. So I'll be able to post a nice pen review of the Gravitas Monster soon. That is on its way, which is a lot of fun. Okay, let's talk about another pen. So, when in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for me to once again bring out an old friend. And this is a theme on this channel that you will see from time to time, is that I often put pens down, I miss them, I pick them up. Now there's a reason why I picked this up again, but it's worthy of our contemplation. This, my dear friends and viewers and listeners, because we're growing the podcast audience, so there are listeners as well. So let me explain to you what is in my hands. It is the very large, substantial Conway Stewart Honey Noir Churchill lever-filled fountain pen. An absolute beauty of a pen with an incredibly gorgeous retro look, with a gold nib by Yovo that was tuned by John Sirico, with a grip that continues the honeycomb vibe, a bit darker. This is an amazing pen. This is a true grail. This is a bit of a time capsule. It is strikingly vintage in its tone. So I'll tell you this, you may have seen that I have a new series on writing like famous people. So maybe was it 2 weeks ago, we did Jane Austen. And I try to match a pen up with the writer. So I just filmed another one, and I matched this pen with a famous writer and a famous person. Do you have any idea who that could be? If you do, let me know in the comments or in the chat. But imagine that this was matched up with someone. And so I had to bring it out and use it for stationery. Handwriting, penmanship is the word I was going for. Practice. I prefer penmanship as a word over handwriting, personally. What do you think? Penmanship or handwriting? Speaking of which, my penmanship's not bad tonight. These look pretty good. This is a little off, but this looks nice. I love this pen, but it is a lever fill. So it does get sort of tummy aches, and it'll puke up all over the place if you wave it around too much, move it around too much. That's one of the downsides of these. They're brilliant to write with. They feel very vintagey. This pen is substantial but light. It's pretty much perfect for someone like me. It has romance. It has presence. It's pretty brilliant. Highly recommend it. Okay, so another pen I've been using as of late is, I gotta recognize someone. Paul Thomas, my friend, with a 10-pound super chat. Thank you. Just in case someone decides to put tariffs on keeping the lights on. Thank you, Paul Thomas. You know, they are creating more and more taxes in the United States right now. Our government has never been so clever at milking the population out of hard-earned money than right now. It's like one of the biggest tax hikes in history with the tariffs. So I have a pen coming to me for demo. It's just for demonstration. I'm going to send it back. I'm not keeping it. And I got charged $135 for tariffs. And I had to pay it. because it would have been impolite otherwise. So just to do a pen review, by the way, Paul Thomas, thank you so much for helping to keep the lights on. I appreciate it. So just for the experience of demoing a fountain pen, I had to pay $133. That's a lot of money. Taxes, guys. I'm not a fan of taxes. Keep the lights on. I appreciate it. So this, of course, is the Parisian Montblanc Meisterstück 149 with a fine nib. An excellent writer. Beautiful nib. Maybe I'll bring this to Chicago. I don't know. You never know. But guess which pen I've been writing with the most? Care to guess? It's the one pen that I could really almost give up all other pens for. This absolute beauty of an Waterman Edison. Oh yes. With the clay to sapphire. Oh boy, it's so perfect. This is one of my favorite writing experiences. I love the flow. It's fast. It's precise. It's just a blast. So much fun. You can write small, large. You almost don't want to write with any other pens. I would take this pen over a Montblanc any day. Any day. It's probably the best pen I own. The only thing is it'd be better if it had a piston fill. I love integrated pens. Speaking of Montblanc, speaking of that, I got the call from them that my Schieberling is imminent. They asked for my shipping address, so I guess it's coming. I didn't cancel it. I'm still on the fence. I'm going to put this dagger away. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I'll keep it, because with the price of that Montblanc Wes Anderson fountain pen, I could get a Urushi and another Edson. So, I don't know. I might do that. I haven't really wholly made up my mind, but I am thinking about it because I'm just not that excited for the Montblanc. And I just got this fine one, so I'm still sort of experimenting with that. Anyway, it is fun to have options. So last week's video you may have seen was me making recommendations on various pens, and I forgot that I had tied them in to movie quotes. So it was kind of fun that when I was talking about posh pens, I found a movie quote that related to it. Or, joining the crowd, I found different things, Star Wars and whatnot. Diane in her orb with a $7 Australian super chat. Thank you so much. To help with the Tara on the review pen. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I was very disappointed. I should tell you that the manufacturer of the pen is reimbursing me. So, very classy on their part. But more classy on your part for that gesture. Thank you. Thank you for helping to keep the lights on. It is Very much appreciated. So thank you for that. Okay. So last week I put out a video on recommendations as a mental exercise. Really, I don't care if you guys buy pens or not. I am not here to sell you pens. I'm just here to speak about them. This is my passion. It's one of the things I love in life. And I obsess over them. And I think a lot of you obsess over them the way I do. And I thought it would be an interesting exercise to cut through the obsession and just say, okay, you want a beginner pen? A lot of stuff is good. You can obsess forever. Forget all that. Just buy this one. So it's kind of a fun way to cut to the chase with a lot of obsessing and going back and forth. So I think I came up with a pretty good definitive list. Some people had their own that were very nice. And it was a lot of fun to talk about it, share it, and to obsess over it. So I am glad that you guys enjoyed it because it's doing quite well. And in summer, it's harder to get a video to do well because fewer people are worried about stationery, weirdly enough, in writing. It seems to be sort of seasonal. What I find is, at least on my channel, September, the end of August into September, so like back to school sort of brings everyone back. And then October, November, mid-December, it falls off again. And then picks up mid-January. And I think people are just busy with the holidays, which makes sense. And then all winter, it does really well. And then it always like sinks like a stone in June. You almost get the sense that many people are writing in school and then, or at work, and then summertime comes and they're like, I'm done with all of that. And then they remember it again come the end of summer. It's just the sort of seasonality of my channel. So I hope you caught that video. This week's video is 3 steps to try right now in your journaling to make your life better. And these are 3 important steps to use journaling for better, more balanced mental health, which is very important to me, something I stress and talk about all the time. And I know a lot of you follow this channel and what I do for my journaling videos. And there will always be journaling videos. There's always going to be pen reviews. There's always going to be journaling videos. There's always going to be handwriting videos. That's kind of my core. I'll always mix other stuff into travel vlogs, bookstore reviews, different historic houses that I visit. Sometimes I might tie it in with a pen review and go to an historic house like I did for Yard of Lead. But the core is fountain pens, journaling, mental health, and writing. So you can count on that so much. Okay. So that's next week's video, and then the week after is 20 things. And it's just me sharing 20 things that I'm passionate about or that recently passed through the studio here were interesting. It's some pens, some statues, some works of art, some books, some pocket knives, just all sorts of things that I'm into to give you a sense of me as a person. It's fun to have a little fun now and then, so I think you'll enjoy that. That's in 2 weeks. Now, next week, I am in Chicago, so I'm not sure I'm doing a live show on Tuesday because that's my first night in Chicago, and I'd be surprised if I have the peace of mind. I think I'll probably stream live from the sidewalk sale sometime Thursday or Friday. So the schedule's going to be a little weird next week. You'll probably see at least 1, maybe 2 live streams plus a new video next week. But Tuesday night we probably won't have one. But who's to say? Maybe I'll decide to get a drink at the hotel bar and stream. But that's how I see it happening. So we'll see. Another thing kind of interesting is, have you ever thought about iridium? Am I the only one who thinks about iridium? Is it me? Am I the iridium guy? You know, iridium is tipping material. It's not always actually made out of iridium, but often it is. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's called that, and it's more like an alloy. But other times, especially with some luxury brands, they want to sell you on the fact that they're using iridium, which is close to platinum. It's kind of in the platinum gold area of your periodic chart. Don't quote me on that. Chemistry was not my strong suit, but I believe it's very similar to platinum on the periodic table of elements. Why am I telling you about iridium? Why would I talk about this? First off, it's a very hard material, which is why it's underneath your nib and it won't wear down. You could write a lifetime for it. But did you know your nib killed the dinosaurs? Did you know that? Well, it's true. Mostly true. Iridium is not really found in large quantities on planet Earth. And how it normally gets here is through meteorites being deposited over time, which is pretty interesting. What's more interesting is this thing called the KT band. And the KT band is this little stripe of clay and other deposits that coats the entire world at around 65 million years ago. So 65 million years ago, there's a layer of silt, basically, for lack of a better term, in the geological record that coats the entire Earth from North America, radiating out, covering everywhere, India, Asia, across the world. It's at its thickest. Do you know where it's at its thickest? North America. The southern part of North America. Right around the Yucatan Peninsula is where it's at its thickest. And what else is found on that layer, which makes it even more interesting, and my whole point, is iridium. It is on that layer in abundance, and it is a marker. And it's more concentrated around the Yucatan and the southern part of the United States, because that was the impact site of a massive asteroid that hit Earth and put an end to most of the dinosaurs. Not all. We have chickens and other birds, but most dinosaurs took a check. And it was such a drastic geological, geological, because it scrambled the whole surface of the Earth, and it had such drastic effects. It literally, the fossil record nearly ends for tens of thousands of species there. And of course, others survived, and here we are. But iridium comes from asteroids and meteors. So, it's kind of neat. If you think about it, one of your fountain pens that might have a little bit of that material may have may have arrived here on planet Earth from this massive asteroid impact. And so you could be writing with a piece of the meteorite that killed the dinosaurs. It's fascinating, isn't it? That was a rough day. You know, that's what's wild, Eric. It would have been a day. It would have been that drastic. Everything would have been fine. And then there'd be this massive shock to the planet. There'd be mile-high tsunamis and silt and everything going into the atmosphere that would coat and blot out the sun for years, maybe a generation or more. Nuclear winter. So yeah, a very, very bad day indeed. But at least we have our fountain pens. So at least we have those. If you're just joining, because it's halfway down the hour, I do want to once again mention that I will be at the Atlas Stationers sidewalk sale on the 14th and 15th of August, and I'd love to meet you. And my family will be there too. I'm going to get Nando's, because there is Nando's in Chicago. I'm very excited about that. Get to spend time with Brendan, one of my closest friends in the fountain pen community. So I'm very, very happy for that. Okay, let me see. What else should we talk about? Should we get to the main topic? Just want to make sure I covered everything. I will ask one thing. If you listen and watch each week, please subscribe. That's really the only thing I ask for. I'd love to have you with us and all the crazy things that we do together. It's a blast, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you to the members. Without you guys, I don't know if I'd have the passion and motivation to continue. Members, you guys mean the world to me. Thank you so much for everything you do. It means a lot. So thank you. Now here's a question. I should take more questions. Willerick, is the Montblanc 146 as impressive as the 149? Yes, I would. I'd say that in many ways it's more impressive. If you like larger, then the 149 is more impressive because it's large. But the 146 is perfectly proportioned. It's just that Goldilocks area of size and feel and ease of writing with. It shares proportions with a Sailor 1911L, which is another absolute banger of a fountain pen. But I love that size, that proportion. So to me, they're both brilliant. I think the 146 is probably better for most people. The 149 is a little nichey. It's a bit like Pelican too, isn't it? With the M1000 and the M800. I think so. Name Like Nobody Else says, I saw Hemingway as an event that was sold out at Atlas. Am I sold out at Atlas? I do have some kind of an event I'm doing. I don't really know what it is, but I think it might be a kind of Q&A. But don't worry, that's not the only way you can see me. I will be there kind of walking around too. So yeah, come meet me regardless. But the Q&A event's going to be a lot of fun. I'm psyched for that. And there's some other people coming too. I'm going to crash their event because I am kind of a jerk like that. So Inkdependence will be there and Pen Addict will be there, and I don't know those guys, but they look very nice. This is the first I'm learning about them. I'm not sure where they are. I think they're on Instagram. I don't think they're on YouTube, but I could be wrong. But they really look like really nice guys. And so I'm going to crash their event if I can get away with it. So we'll see. It should be a lot of shenanigans and fun. So, okay. Oh, guys, it has been tough for me. I find that summer is often really hard on me psychologically. And it's sort of telling that I have a journaling and mental health video coming out this week. I should watch it myself because it's really good to remind yourself of things. And as you go through really tough times, for whatever reason, and I work in a field with a lot of stress and a lot of responsibility. I mean, everything is great at my job, but it's still sometimes it can be a lot and can be kind of overwhelming. You feel like you're pushing back against a vast amount of weight. The heat gets me down. Sometimes life events get me down. Trying to plan the future, thinking about everything from investments to which home projects to do. It can be overwhelming. I just have a hard time in the summer, and I'm really good at feeling my triggers now because I've studied myself by journaling about myself. And one of the things that I know is that I get these little warnings that I'm in kind of a depressive trend. And I get them to the point where I'm able to pull myself out of it if I recognize them early enough. And that's what's happened over the weekend, where I was walking around with this almost a shame response. And what I mean by that is, if you've done something wrong and you get caught and you feel almost tingly around your neck, and you're almost like, ooh, I'm not, I didn't live up to who I want to be as a person or something. If you have those moments, everybody has a moment like that, even if it's silly. But I was feeling these sort of out of sync physical reactions. And that's one of them, where I get all tingly, almost like I'm in fight or flight mode. But nothing is wrong. Nothing's wrong. Like, things are good. Yeah, work stress. Who doesn't have work stress? I think anybody living in the U.S. right now and seeing like prices rising and sort of how the economy's stressed, that's stressful for all of us if you live in the U.S. Because you want the country to do well, and it's never good to see it going in the wrong direction. So I do feel those things, but they're not stimulus enough to knock me off my base. So sometimes you have to recognize that it's just a physical thing sometimes, that you're predisposed to depression sometimes different times of the year. And you can recognize it, and you can address it. But this is the weird part. And it gets back to my catchphrase. And that is, I didn't want to journal. And I didn't journal, which is very weird for me. For about a week, I didn't touch my iridium nib, to the page. I didn't want to deal with myself. I was having this tingly sensation, this like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I don't feel right. But I was like sick of myself. I didn't want to diagnose myself. I didn't want to face the fact that I wasn't 100% present, or I wasn't expressing the right balanced comportment that I want to as a good partner for my wife, as a good dad, all those things that I hold in the highest of esteem. I was suffering, and I wasn't helping myself at all because I didn't want to admit it to myself that I had an issue. And I think that this is where my mantra of me relating this to all of you often, and why I share this, that maybe we can find some common ground as humans that are struggling just to live as we all are. And sometimes we're our own critics and worst enemies. And sometimes you don't want to admit it. You don't want to enshrine it into your journal, sort of manifesting it as something that happened by writing, by journaling. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. That's huge support, so thank you. I really appreciate it. I see them flying up, so thank you. It's not easy talking like this, but I just feel like if I feel it, maybe some of you guys do. So it's that feeling of a blank page, and maybe that's why I bought another notebook, which I didn't need. It was my way of sort of kicking myself back into writing. And I couldn't do it for a couple days, and I thought about it, and I didn't even have the focus to read, so I wasn't reading either. I was fortunately spending some really high quality time with my family, my daughter especially. I'm holding her really close. She's very lovable, that kid. She's very warm, and she loves hugs, and it's if you're feeling down and you have an 8-year-old, it's a good thing. you know. And actually, my wife is really great that way too. If you say to my wife, I'm like, honey, I need a hug, she's there. It's really lovely. And I'm there for her, hopefully. So we had some really nice time together, but it took me a few days for my mantra to kick in and for me to say, write your way through it. Don't look away. Maybe that's part of the shame response. Maybe I was feeling a little shame that I was having an issue mentally. But I finally, and this is what draws me in, it was the pen. The pen draws you in when you're us. When the beauty of a fountain pen beguiles you, it undermines some of your resolve, your resistance. And you look at something like a Waterman Edison with this double barrel of sapphire that glows in your hand, and a gold nib that leads your eye to the point that glistens in light. It just begs to be held. It begs. You want to caress it across the page. You want that nib to touch, to spread a line, some sort of a beautiful line. Even if you don't write, you just draw a line. From there, you want to bend it. You might draw something, or you might start to make your cursive letters, which if you look at cursive letters, they look like little knots. They're little bows and bends and loops that all form together and signify words. And the beauty of a pen can undermine your resistance. And then once you start writing, there's a bit of catharsis that slips in and kind of undermines your depression, and you start to let it go. You start to say, I've been here before. I've done this. This has happened before. It will happen again. It's like the end of Battlestar Galactica with what was it, number 7 and Gaius. It's happened before. It'll happen again. In many ways, your life is kind of a repetitive disaster. There are tides. There's an existential wave that hangs over you like the sword of Damocles, ready to crest and swamp you, or maybe you push through. But then it's turbulent and it happens again and you push through. And that's kind of the heroism of life. It's not about being destroyed. It's about refusing to be defeated. Only you can defeat yourself. It's not about being knocked down. It's about how many times you get up with your anger and your shame, as Paul Simon said. You have to sometimes stand toe-to-toe with life and trade punches until you make it through the other side. And for me, I started writing again. I started to feel better again. And everything started shifting again. So the tide, once again, it's like a turbulent ocean, right? You're down in the trough. The waves are breaking over you, and then it pushes you up, and you're above. And there I am again, and things are trending nicely. And I'm going to try to hold on to this feeling into Chicago and enjoy that and the time with my family. That's your strength, is your family, you know? And I guess the lesson here is, if there are times when you cannot face who you are and what you're going through, then don't. Give it a break. I don't think I've ever given that advice before, but I don't think you should force yourself to write your way through it, but I think you will when you're ready. You'll hold something beautiful in your hand, you'll touch that nib to paper, and then you'll slide away on a cushion of ink into a better tomorrow. And I think summer can be tough for people, and you just have to keep on rolling along. That's all. Well, let me know what you think in the chat and in the comments. Whatever gets you through, I guess, is good. You know? I am excited for Chicago, guys. And I'm delighted to meet all of you. I've heard great things about the city and the people there. And I'm just really excited to meet some new people and make some new friends. So come on out and say hello. Whoa. We have a super chat. I can barely lift this super chat, Michael. But I'm trying to lift this super chat. Wow. Michael Rowley with a $999 super chat. For the lights, for the family. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your friendship. You've been just great. You're such a huge support for me. I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to put that up again because it's so big. It should be up twice. So thank you so, so much. It means the world to me. And it means a lot to me that this channel means enough to you to support it in the way you guys do. And it means so much. And it keeps me motivated and striving to produce the best videos I possibly can for all of you. So, Michael, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I'm seeing in the chat that people are like, whoa, look at that. Pots and Pans said, did I tell you what MB said yet? I think I did, but I'll say it. I'll say it again. Tracy, I wish you could make it to Chicago. Sometime we do have to meet up. So Montblanc called me, and I called them back, and they asked for my shipping address. They offered me to pick it up in the boutique, but it's hard to pick it up in the boutique. I do live outside of Boston. I lived in Boston for many, many years, but I now live out in the, I guess, the suburbs. To me, I romanticize it more than the suburbs. It's a very quasi-rural setting where I am because I'm on the edge of all this conservation land. But it's probably 45 minutes to get into the Prue and Copley to pick it up. So I just asked them to ship it. So it's on its way, but I don't know when. It'll probably come when I'm in Chicago because that's how these things are. Georgia Turner says, I learn more from my valleys than from the peaks. Writing helps me too. Yeah, I think you do. I think you really do. It's so true. Moon Lover. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome with the super chats tonight. Thank you. $10 in excitement for Chicago and the sidewalk sale. Excited to see everyone there. Me too. I will be there. I hope you guys can recognize me when I'm there. I'm tall. I'm 6'2". So look for the tall guy with the glasses. And I'll probably be with Imogen because we're rarely apart. So very, very cool. I missed Washington, but maybe I'll go next year. Maybe. Uh-oh. Okay. I thought I had a sneeze coming. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had quite a night, didn't we? It was quite a night. I really appreciate it. I want to thank everyone with the super chats. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. It was very, very kind. Michael Rowley, I can't believe you. You're awesome. And the rest. Love all you guys. New video this week on journaling. Keep it going. And if you haven't watched my recommendations, please watch that too. And next week we will be live, just kind of off schedule, I think. So thank you all for everything. It's been an absolute blast. Thanks for spending some time with me. I can promise you we'll see each other again the day after tomorrow when my new video comes out. And soon, further up the road. So take care of yourselves and all the best. Thank you for being here.